Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot, page 94, where we find an old expression regarding passing the smell test, or if something doesn't smell right. Very interestingly enough, when it comes to a divorce document, a get, there's something which is called a reach haget, literally the smell of a get. What exactly is that referring to? So on this page, it discusses a situation. When you write a divorce document, it's supposed to be that you are releasing this woman, that you're no longer married, so you have no connection to her. Also, you're allowing her to marry whomever she wishes. As it says on the get, Hari Muteres L'chol Adam. She's allowed to marry whoever she wants. Now, what happens in a situation where a man would write on the get that I want you to be divorced from me, but you are not free to marry anyone else? Now, in that situation, it really isn't a valid divorce document, because the whole notion is it's supposed to be a way of her being able to be completely released and free to marry whoever she wants. Now, even though that's true, since this get was given and she's at least somewhat disconnected from this man that she was married with, this is what's called a reach haget, that it at least smells like a get. And because of that, she is considered to be, on some level, a gerusha, a divorced woman, in that she can no longer marry a Kohen. What that means is, let's say a day later, this man dies. So normally, if a woman is a widow is allowed to marry a Kohen, but a woman who's divorced is not allowed to marry a Kohen. So even though this is really not a divorce, but it smells like a divorce. In other words, if it looks a little bit funny, we're concerned that if we see her walking around with this get, even though it really isn't good, then people are going to start thinking that there is no such law, that someone who is divorced can still marry a Kohen. Look, she did it. And therefore, because of that, we are strict. And this is part of the notion of perception, that even though in reality it may not mean anything, but we are also concerned of what things look like. And that's also an important point for ourselves, that we have to be careful not only to do the right thing, but we also have to make sure that we set a good example in our actions so that people will not get the wrong impression by certain things that we say and do. It's very important to be yashar, completely straight, so that there will be no question in the eyes of God or man.